Listen, relationships in general are difficult and some work. But when your emotions are fooling you, when you begin lying to yourself about the real state of the relationship, it becomes even more difficult. Now, I know some well-meaning, competent, genuine individuals that after a relationship is over and the dust settles, think back to themselves, what was I doing? Am I an idiot? Am I desperate? What is wrong with me that I thought that was a great relationship? Now, it may just be that you or the other person made the mistake of thinking it was love when it was actually lust. So in this video, I want to give you 6 signs that might be indicators that this is lust and not love. That's today on Relationshots. Welcome to Relationshots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming videos. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you'll see the link in the description area below. If you need a place to grow and strengthen your marriage, consider our Altered Marriage membership, where you're going to find tools, videos, worksheets, and community to help you get where you want to be in your relationship. You'll see details of that below. All right, let's talk about lust and love. Here's the thing. A lot of people have been in a lot of relationships and they've mistaken love for something that's actually lust. So in this video, what I want to do is I want to give you a few signs that might be good indicators. Hey, listen, this is lust. You know, enjoy it if you want, but this is not really love and probably not something that's going to last for the long term. And as I give you 6 signs that might indicate that it's lust, here's what I want you to do. Don't only look at it from your own lens, like saying, well, no, I don't do that. No, that's not me. No, that's not me. Because you may indeed be pursuing a relationship in a loving manner, but for the other person, is really just lust. So you also want to look at these signs from their standpoint. If they're doing these or if they mark them, that's probably a pretty good indicator that even though you're pursuing love, they're pursuing lust. So here's 6 signs that your relationship might be lust and not love. Number 1, the relationship is driven by sex. Listen, if you've watched any of my videos, you already know I think sex is the great relationship deceiver. It releases all kinds of hormones, so it makes you think you like them more than you really like them. You're more attached to them than you really are. You prefer them in ways you really should. It makes you feel like you're more connected than you really are. So when this is the driver, it feels like the relationship is actually great when it's probably not. So if you know more about their bedroom etiquette, then you know about real things in the relationship, like do they like Mexican food? Which I think should be a non-negotiable for every relationship, or things like, are they a cat or dog person, or do they keep the AC in the house at 68 or 74? You know, stuff that's actually going to matter in a long-term relationship. If you know more about their bedroom etiquette than you do any of these things, if you have a lot of sex but you don't have a lot to talk about, it's probably lust. Sign number 2 is a selfish motivation. Now listen, real love is selfless. I've heard it said that lust is the desire to be in a relationship with somebody else. Now that means that it has a selfish drive. I want to be in a relationship with you. I want to serve you. I want to love you. I want to give to you, which all seem like they're loving and selfless. But at the end of the day, the reason I want to do all these things is because I want you in return to make me feel good about me. So your motivation is still you. I'm serving and loving them, but ultimately it's because they make me feel good about me. So if you want to take a little test and figure out if you're doing all the quote loving things really from a selfish motivation, then why don't you find out if you're still willing to do those things when the other person doesn't reciprocate without being bitter and angry and resentful. And I'm not talking about you're unhealthy and codependent and so you just do things and don't expect anything in return. I'm talking about if you're healthy, then I want you to see if you'll continue to love and give and serve, even if it's not reciprocated. That would indicate you do have a selfless motive. If you're getting resentful and frustrated pretty quick, you're probably selfish, which means this is probably not love and it's actually lust. Sign number 3 is a willingness to overlook flaws. So lust will cause us to overlook character issues, integrity issues, unhealthy patterns in a relationship, all in the name of it just feels good to be with them. So you know what? You'll be like, man, she looks good. A little volatile, but hot. Or, he struggles with honesty a bit, but his arms and chest in that V-neck. I mean, you sometimes listen to the words you say. He struggles with honesty. No, he's a dirty liar because he has character issues and he deceives you. So just some of the wording we use to describe the flaws that we want to overlook is usually a pretty good indicator that this is really lust and is not love. So when your friends try to point stuff out and you justify them, it is probably lust. When you're willing to overlook or compromise areas or values you would not normally compromise, it is probably lust. A willingness to overlook flaws. Number 4 sign is an avoidance of reality. Listen, real relationships, real love is grounded in reality. Lust wants to live in fantasy. I don't really want to look at all the real details of the relationship. I don't really want to dig deeper on any level. I just want to stay at a surface level. I want to avoid reality. I want to avoid conversations that might turn into conflict, that might cause tension. I want to avoid that. Let's just enjoy each other and have fun, and let's not talk about hot button areas. When the reality is real love wants to dig into those areas, realizing that conflict will create more intimacy in the relationship. We do want to talk about the things. We do want to talk about boundaries. We do want to require certain behaviors in return from the other people in a healthy relationship. Love is grounded in reality. Lust says, I don't really want to deal with reality. I just want to have fun here and quit trying to make the thing too serious or too important. Let's just avoid reality. That's a 4th sign. Sign number 5 is you withhold aspects of yourself. That means you say, you know what, I've already decided I'm just not going to be fully vulnerable. I'm not going to let them into all the areas of my life. I'm going to keep them at a distance. I'm going to give them a hug, but I'm going to keep my arm in there so they can't get too close. You decide, listen, it's not worth being open in certain areas. It's not worth letting them see certain areas. It's not worth digging in because real relationships and real love is built on vulnerability and trust. And when you've decided in the beginning, I'm not going to allow them access to certain areas. I'm going to guard certain areas of my life. I'm going to prevent them from seeing certain areas of my life. It's probably not love. Now, I'm not suggesting that on the second date, you let them know all the depths of your soul. That's not healthy. That's unhealthy. That's rushing in too soon. Relationships progress over time and people get more and more access as they prove themselves and they're trustworthy and the relationship develops for sure. But if the relationship's developing and you've already decided or they've already decided you do not get access to these areas of my life, then it's probably not love. It's more about lust in this relationship. And number 6, I'm going to call selective inclusion. That means you only get access to certain areas of a person's life or they only give you access to certain areas of their life, right? Like you don't get to meet their friends or they're not going to invite you to big occasions like weddings or family get-togethers. Maybe you don't have access to their family. You don't allow them access to your family. You're saying, you know what? You get to be a part of this area of my life, but not these other areas of my life. So maybe you're the weekend relationship, but during the week we really don't have any interaction. Or we always meet at your place or out, but we never really meet at my place because I'm not letting you into those different areas. So when a relationship is built on lust, you're basically saying, listen, I like to lust after you in certain environments and certain areas and with certain people, but there's other areas over here, and that's more reserved for me and other things I want to do. I'm not letting you have access into those areas. So a real relationship is all-inclusive. That means you get access to every part of each other's lives. And if somebody is unwilling to give you access or you're unwilling to give them access, then it's probably not love here. It's probably lust. So there's 6 signs that a relationship might be built on lust, not love. And I can tell you from experience and talking to a lot of other couples that most people's greatest regrets relationally have come when they've stayed in a relationship that was driven by lust, not driven by love. So hopefully these will allow you to evaluate both your own intentions and the intentions of the other person you might be in a relationship with. I love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Maybe you have some other signs, or maybe you disagree with these signs. Let's talk a little bit about it. Drop a comment for us and let's have a discussion about it. If you're looking for a place to connect with other couples, strengthen and grow your relationship, consider our Altered Marriage membership. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relationship.